Hi there and welcome. So I am finally getting around to getting this video together. And for those of you that have been with us for a while, you know that we've been rehabbing this farmhouse in Kentucky, basically gutting it and starting over. One of the rooms though was a living room that I wanted to make into kind of like a accent wall. So my vision was to put tin across the back, but I wanted a mantel. So on the property was an old log cabin, and there was just bits and pieces of it left. And I happened to be out there looking around at it, and I saw a couple of the original logs still there. Now, of course, they were the ones that were on the ground, but they were beautiful. I mean, look at that, hand-hewed, and, still had the notches. So I really wanted to try and salvage one or two of those. I could see some sections that I thought were still salvageable, and I really wanted to keep some of the original elements in the house from the land. So I was not going to let this one go. I actually just pulled it up and left it dry over the summer and then came back to get it. There was another one that was a little bit shorter, but I couldn't really use that one because I wanted something that was about 5 feet long. And, so I used it for parts, but I still salvaged it. So when I was working in the living room, at least I had the foresight to reinforce the back wall and putting some extra boards back there. I knew the mantle would be there somewhere. I wasn't sure exactly where, so I took pictures of it. I ended up putting tin on it and some barn boards from the farm. So I brought it home, and even I had my doubts on it. Pressure washed it. It looked a little bit better. And you can see the inside was hollowed out, but that is a oak log. And that thing, where it's not rotted, it was solid as a rock. And it weighed a lot. Just that one section was over 50 pounds. So I needed something, hefty in the wall to be able to hold it up. So I just ended up using some of the black pipe, the 1-inch pipe, and a couple of different, the pipe nipples. So because there was a section missing in the log, I had to reinforce it. So I found a 4x4 and drilled some holes in it. And then I actually put it up in the garage on the wall just to see once if it was going to work. I laid the log over it, and yeah, it looked like it was going to work. So back at the house, I just started figuring out where it was going to be. I remembered where the reinforced pieces were, and I just ended up marking the holes on that piece that was actually going to be the support that holds most of the weight. Now, sheet metal screws would have been perfect, but I didn't have any with me, so I just started some holes so I could get the screws in. I ended up using 3-inch on there because I wanted to go through the tin, through the reinforcement, into the wall, and into the stud. So there was a lot of area to go through. And to my surprise, even with just those 4, it was really pretty sturdy. So once I figured that was going to work, I went ahead and just did the rest. The pipes that I used against the wall were 5-inch because I needed to get through that 4x4 and still be able to cap it off. Once I had them all on, it was the moment of truth. All right, did I line everything up like I was supposed to? And to my surprise, it actually fit. I had to notch out the inside of that 4x4 because they were still a little bit too short. To my surprise again, it was level enough. The entire house is not level, so I kind of had to go with the angle of the house. So that wall is a little bit off, and if I would have made that level and the wall was still off, it would have not been pretty. So I had to compensate just a little. Now, I waited until I got the log in the house and left it there for a couple of weeks to cut it for the final cut. I knew approximately what it would be, but I've been burned before where I bring the wood in and it shrinks and then things don't fit like they're supposed to. So I just trimmed off the ends. I had to do that in 2 pieces. And as you can see, you know, it's hollow in the middle, but that's okay because I have that 4x4. So as you can see, when you're working by yourself, you get creative, and I propped it up using the pipes actually, just to get it as level as I needed it and to get it in place. So then to hold it in, I used 3.5 screws, and I used them, I did it from the top into that 4x4, and then I also did a bunch of other angles to make sure it was not going to come out. I did it from the bottom, I did it from the sides, you name it. I didn't want it to come down because that's really where all the weight was going to be on that piece there. So once I got it up there and secured, it was time to move on to the supports underneath. And really, those supports, they're just decorative. They weren't going to be holding any weight. That's why I put the mantle up first. Mother Nature had already started a hole in the middle, so I just went ahead and drilled a bigger hole so I could get that pipe through it. And just to get a visual of it, I propped it up again using the ladder and whatever else I had laying around. But I wanted to see exactly where I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a couple of inches sticking out on the right side and a couple out of the front. So then to mark where it was going to go, I put some paint on the back of that pipe flange and put it on the wall. It didn't work out exactly like I thought, but it gave me a close enough look to figure out where to screw it in. And once I had the holes marked, I did the exact same thing. Again, that was a longer pipe. And then I just kind of dry fitted it. It was a little bit lower than I wanted, but I adjusted it. And not that I needed it, but I had some liquid nails there. And so I just filled the hole with it and then just stuck it right back in and got it propped up and where I wanted it to be and let it dry there. And like I said, that really wasn't holding any weight. It was just more for decorative. Once they were up and dry, I went back and just finished those cut ends. Did a little touch up on the mantle. There were some nicks, but I was really pleased with the outcome. So going from that solid green wall to this rustic look and to have materials from the land itself, that was important to me. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.